What's up, everybody? We are back to discuss Zatima season 3. So I'm gonna do something a little bit different because I'm behind on my videos. So I we are discussing the last 4 episodes. Okay, so basically Zach is out of jail, right? He's out of jail, and Nate and what's that dude named Bryce? Nate and Bryce picked him up from jail. And Zach is like super. First of all, Zach got major anger issues. And instead of him, I want to say this, instead of him working on his trying to make, he definitely needs to work on making his relationship work with Fatima, but his anger issues need to be uprooted, and that is what he really needs to work on, because that dude, who, good God. But anyway, so of course, Zach is in his feelings because he feels like his people pretty much left. He feel like his friends left him in jail, right? He feels like Connie, Tony knew about Jeremiah, and they pretty much listened to Fatima and then come get him, you know. And he's in his feelings about that. He's like, hey, y'all supposed to be on my side. The whole, Fatima said. And Tony and Connie are like, well, what did you expect us to do? Like, they're like, what did you expect us to do? Just say, hey, forget your woman. And here's the thing. Zach can't, and I'm not even gonna put this on Zach. They all can't pick and choose when they want to. All of them, they can't pick and choose when they want to listen to Fatima and respect Fatima's wishes. Zach included. They can't pick and choose when they want to listen to Fatima and respect her wishes as Zach's intended wife. And when they want to say, well, forget Fatima, we're gonna do what we want to do. Because when when Jeremiah threw Fatima over the car, and when it was that situation, they were trying to they were all trying to figure out, well, look, we need to figure out if we're gonna tell them, if we're not gonna, it was that they all knew, and they all were trying to figure, they all were trying to figure out, are we gonna tell them? Should we keep it from them? All of that. They can't pick and shoot. They can't have it both ways, is what I'm saying. That's what I'm getting at. You can't have it both ways. You either gonna respect Fatima, respect her wishes, or you're not. And I understand that, some situations there's a fine line, but with this situation, with Zach, I think the gist of it is, as far as Zach being in jail goes, it was nothing that they could do. Even if they did want to just say, well, forget what Fatima's saying. We gon' it's team Zach all day. We gonna go get Zach out of jail. Even if they did want to do that, it was nothing that they could do at nighttime anyway. And I really think that's what it was. You know, and like Honey told Zach, yeah, you out of jail, but you still in trouble. You still committed a crime. You still beat your brother up half to death in front of everybody. There were witnesses there, and you're on camera. You're on camera, and it's posted on social media everywhere. So yeah, you didn't go to jail for murder. Thank God. Yes, you're out of jail. Yes, you didn't go to jail for murder, but you still assaulted your brother. So you're not out of the woods, and you need to stop doing this stuff. Connie told him correct. Zach is just looking. Zach, of course, Zach being a guy, he just see things in black and white, you know, and this isn't a black and white, this isn't a black and white thing. He's just looking at it like, y'all supposed to be my people. I was in jail. Y'all didn't cut for me. Y'all didn't get me out. Connie was trying to be his friend and was like, look, I'm your friend. You my dude. I love you. And I'm telling you this because I love you. You need to go and you need to apologize to Jeremiah, and you need to get back in his good graces, because he could still press charges on you. And if he presses charges on you, you could still go to jail. Which is facts. So, of course, Zach being hothead, he wasn't trying to hear it, because Zach is a hothead, he sees things the way that he sees them. So that happened. And of course, Nate being a hothead as well, and being a right brain thinker, being the right brain thinker that he is, and being the type of person that he is, that wants to have Zach all to himself like a child, was the whole ha 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 ha, Zach my friend, and Zach finally sees that I'm the only person that's down for him. That whole thing. It's like a game with Nate. He wants Zach to feel like he is the only person out of the friend group that got his back. So that's pretty much, that's what it's given, in my opinion. Y'all let me know, and I want y'all to let me know what y'all think about that in the comments. But that's pretty much how that episode went, and it ended with Zach going home. Oh no, I'm sorry, I'm missing something. Angela. So Angela and her little stray that she brought home, turns out Angela Angela finds out that she's all over a TripleX.com website, and she's trying to figure out who put her on there. So the guy got arrested. Fatima rushed to her aid, and Angela was like, "Oh my God, I need to figure out who this is, and can you help me? Can you help me get this down?" Fatima was like, "Yeah, I have a friend that works in the FBI." Come to find out, the person that she knows that works in the FBI is Leslie's husband. So this is how Leslie and her husband gets introduced. And we'll get there. We'll get there in a minute. So Fatima was like, "Yeah, I can call him, but you sure you don't want us to use somebody at work?" And Angela was like, "No, I don't want them in my business," which is understandable. But Angela was like, so yeah, that happened. Um, Now, that's not funny, but it's funny. And it made me laugh because Angela was like, "You know what? I think it was one of my old dudes, my old dude." And Fatima was like, "Okay, well, it probably was him. You need to call him over here and you need to get him to confess it." And so she called him over there, and the guy poor old man, poor Alfred. Poor, poor Alfred. Alfred came over there. He was so confused. He was like, I just put the batteries in the smoke detectors." And I said, and as soon as I saw him, I said, "Oh yeah, he definitely didn't do this, because child, he don't even know how to cut his phone on." He didn't even know. You could tell he don't even know how to he don't even know how to cut his phone on, child. So Angela cussed the man out and kicked him out and everything, right? Come to find out, as soon as he left, Bryce pulls up. I said, "Oh, he did it. Bryce did it." So Bryce, he was like, "Yeah, I got an alert on my phone that and I saw the police was here." And so Angela was like, "Whoa, how did you get an alert on your phone?" He was like, "I put some cameras up. You told me to put the cameras up." I was like, "Oh God." So that happened, and she kicked Bryce out or whatever. Bryce is probably one of the most manipulative people on the show, because he does these asinine things, and then once he do the asinine things and he gets caught, then he feels bad and feels like he can say that he's sorry and that he's a good person, and feels like because he said he's sorry and he's a good person, that makes it okay. No, that actually does not make it okay. It doesn't. It does not make it okay at all. And then you saying you're sorry does not negate from the fact that these are heinous crimes that you're doing, sir. You kissed a guy who did not give you any signs that he wanted to be kissed. And then when you got caught, you was like, oh my God, it's just a kiss. You act like I killed your mama. Bryce. Then you stole his money. Bryce. Now, Bryce Jehoshaphat, whatever your name, whatever your whole name is, please, sir, you stole it. You stole this man's money, and you think that y'all just supposed to be friends. Now, I did say in one of my videos that Zach could have at least told him thank you for getting him out of jail, especially since he did call him. And I do think that common courtesy is to say when you do call somebody and you ask them to do something for you, at least say thank you. But that doesn't mean that they're friends, you know. But anyway, I do think that they need to go ahead and dissolve the business. And they should have did that back in season 1. Dissolve the business, go y'all separate ways, and y'all ain't got to talk no more. That's how y'all handled it. Anyway, the episode ended with Zach he walked into his house. He saw two people on the counter kissing. He thought because Leslie's hair is just like Fatima's, he thought that was Fatima getting it in with somebody. And he spazzed and threw Malavoisha on the floor. And that's how the episode ended. And so Leslie goes, yo, Zach, what the F are you doing? First of all, Leslie, how do you even know Zach's name? That was the question that I had, because Fatima never told you that. She just told you that she was engaged. She showed you the ring. She never told you her fiance's name. So how do you know her fiance's name? Anyway, that's how the episode ended. It came back on, and of course, Zach is confused. He's like, who are y'all and why y'all in my house? And why is your hair? You do favor. They explained that they were friends of Fatima. She told them where the spare key was and stuff. I want to pause right there because I actually had that question. I had this question when I first saw the episode. I'm like, how close are y'all for Fatima to A, tell you where the spare key is, B, let y'all come in the house and she's not there? Not to mention, it's been over 20 years since she's seen y'all both. Fatima, why? So I'm very curious. So I personally was very curious to see how this storyline was going to play out. Because what? I have friends. Now I have two best friends that I have known. I mean known for 27 years. 27 years. I have known them, okay? And I mean known them since we were 11 years old. Okay. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't even give me their spare key, and then vice versa. But if I ran into a homegirl that I ain't seen since we was that I was close to, that I was close to, that I ain't seen, and I mean that I have not seen that I ain't laid eyes on in 20 years, I'm not gonna trust you to give you the spare key to my house. Fatima, what are you doing? So, and I saw a whole bunch of tweets and stuff, people saying Fatima is too trusting. I don't know if I agree with that. This makes me think that Leslie and Malachi got something on Fatima. Because for Fatima to be as sharp as she is, to pick up on things, for her to be as discerning as she is, to smell a rat, you know what I'm saying, to know and be on point, you know what I'm saying, and for you to just let a couple in your house, and then we later on find out that Leslie slept with Malachi, and Malachi and Fatima were actually in a relationship and they were in love and stuff. And Leslie slept with him. And Leslie and Fatima were best friends. And you let them in your house and you ain't seen them. All this just to ask. All this just to ask Malachi to help Angela when you could have just called them on the phone. Nah, I'm not buying it. They got something on her. I'm sorry, and I love my girl, but there is a deeper story here. I believe there's a deeper story here. So, anyway, Fatima comes home and she's like, "What is going on?" And so they was like, "Oh well, this one couldn't keep his hands off of me, and yada yada yada." And I even picked up on the vibes between Fatima and Malachi. When they saw each other, and it wasn't like bad, like it wasn't like, oh my God, it wasn't like that. But I saw how they looked at each other. They definitely were more than friends. I picked up on that. I picked up on their energy. But anyway, so Zach and Fatima go upstairs and they talk. And Fatima she didn't want to talk. She didn't want to talk, and Zach was like, "Oh, we on your time now. You know how I go." And so he goes into the bathroom with her, and he was like, "Look, I know you were mad, and I know I shouldn't have done it, and I've learned my lesson, but I couldn't not do anything." So and here's the thing. The thing that people are missing with the whole, well, Fatima was right. Well, no, Zach was right. The thing that people are missing is they both did what they felt was right for them. Zach felt like he was protecting. He felt like he was protecting them. He felt like he was protecting his future wife and their baby by going after the guy who put them in harm's way. Now, it was reactive, but he felt like he was protecting them. Like, hey, you touch my woman and my baby, so I'm touching you. Fatima felt like you didn't have to do all that. You could have just let the police handle it, because you doing all of that caused you to potentially not be here with us. So they both felt like they, and she was like, so I had to let you sit in jail so you can learn your lesson. So I actually enjoyed that conversation, and we found out that Zach popping off the way that he did triggered a memory for her, and I don't think this gets talked about, because she said when I was a little girl, this guy was going off on my mama, and my mama spazzed, and I was like, "Mama, why you just didn't call Daddy?" And Mama said, "Because I knew if I called your daddy would have killed him." So a lot of stuff that we're seeing with Zach, that Zach is doing, triggers memories for triggers like childhood memories for Fatima, and I don't think that gets talked about enough. So a lot of Fatima saying, I don't think I'm gonna be able to love you the way that I need to or that I can, is because it's triggering some things for her in her childhood, and I think that needs to be discussed. I really do. So I definitely enjoyed that conversation. So Zach goes downstairs. He talks to Leslie and he talks to Malachi. He apologized for flipping Malachi, and she was like, you reacted you reacted very impulsively. And he was like, yeah, how would you feel if you came in the house and you saw your dude with you saw what looked like to be your dude with another woman? And she was like, yeah, well, Malachi wouldn't do that. Malachi would think first and assess the situation and stuff like that. Malachi flipped Zach and stuff, showed that he was more trained and more calculated and stuff like that. Fatima come downstairs in a purple dress. I ain't gonna lie, Fatima looked good in that dress now. I said, okay, Fatima, homegirl was looking stacked in that dress. I ain't gonna even lie. And it's so Malachi looked at shoot, everybody looked. And so Fatima showed that she remembered that, everybody's favorite foods and, all the things, right? And so everybody sat down and ate. And let's see what else happened. Everybody sat down and ate. Leslie got the drinking. And when she got the drinking, she got the talking. And so she got the talking and she was like, I ain't gonna lie, I laughed because I ain't gonna lie. When Leslie get the drinking, Leslie put you in mind of a person that when she get the drinking and she get drunk, she is funny when she drunk. It's so Fatima made a comment. She said, "How can I forget?" Let's say, "How can I forget?" Y'all, I rewind that scene so many times. Because Leslie, you can tell that, oh my gosh, you can tell that Malachi still has the hots for Fatima, and he's been making Leslie pay for it. You can really tell that because we find out that Leslie and Malachi had a fling behind Fatima's back. Now, a fling is something that is ongoing, not a one-time thing. This is a fling is something that's ongoing. Fatima found out about it. She broke up with Malachi. Leslie's like, he settled for me. And when he found out that that we was that I saw you at the gym, he made me go get my hair like hers and all of the things. And as a matter of fact, they was at the hotel last week. See, look at the picture, Zach. So what you gonna do, Zach? What you gonna do? So I think, now this is just my theory. I could be wrong. I really could be wrong. Y'all know I've been wrong before. I think that Malachi did what he did with Leslie back in the day. He didn't expect Fatima to stand on business and leave. He expected Fatima to forgive him. That didn't happen. He did settle for Leslie. And he has resented Leslie. Leslie stayed, endured, and she lost her friend in the process. And because she lost her friend, she was like, I lost my friend. I'm not finna lose the guy too. So she has just been grilling it up and eating it all these years. Does that make sense? Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. And I tweeted this too. But she knows there. I think there's a piece of Leslie that knows that what she's. Now, don't get me wrong. No woman deserves this at all. But I think that she feels as though what she's going through with Malachi is quote unquote her karma. So that's why she's just taking it because she feels like it's what she deserves. Although it's not. It's not what she deserves. Nobody deserves mistreatment. Okay. So I want to be very, very clear with what I'm saying. But I think she's choosing to stay because she feel like, hey, I did this to my friend. So this is my karma. And she's mad at herself for it. And she's mad at Malachi because she feel like she can't do nothing about it. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. But that's how that episode ended. The next episode came back on. And so let's see, we got 15. So this episode 15, 16. So 17. Yep. So 17. So episode 17 came back on. And Malachi was like, I'm so sorry. Leslie, you need to stop drinking. Fatima was like, that's not true. That's not true. I ain't seen him in 20 years. I ain't seen him. And so Zach was just sitting there listening. He don't believe none of this, by the way. So he just sitting there listening. He's sitting there listening, taking it all in. Leslie and Malachi's like, I'm so sorry about all this. And Fatima's like, I think you've had enough. You need to go. So Leslie and Malachi leave. Zach said, bye, Leslie. Now, one thing I did find hilarious was Zach was like, you love her like that? Talking about Fatima. And so, and Leslie was like, yeah, he love her like that. And we don't have to take this. We don't have to take this. We just, we don't have to take this. We deserve more. We deserve more. And that's what I was saying. When Leslie gets some drink in her system, it's like when she gets some drink in her system, she know her worth. But when she not, when she's sober, she takes stuff she don't have to. But anyway, so they left. Zach and Fatima got to talking. And episodes 17 and 18 showed less of the other characters of the show and more just Zach and Fatima only having some real adult conversations, and I enjoyed it. So episode 17 showed them talking more, and it really gave earlier seasons of Zach and Fatima when we all as fans fell in love with them, and I absolutely loved it. So they sat at the table and they talked. And Zach was like, I'm pissed. I ain't pissed because I believe it. Because I don't believe that stuff. I don't believe nothing that they saying. I know you. You're a person of integrity. You wouldn't do something like that. Like, no matter how mad you are at me, you wouldn't do that. And but I'm mad that you had these people that I don't even know in the house, and this food nasty. This food nasty. But and I'm also mad that you didn't tell me about him. And so she was like, I don't want to give you a rundown or a list of everybody that broke my heart. And he was like, that's fair, but I still, I still feel like I have a right to know. So he was like, you could have and should have at least gave me a heads up. And she was like, where was I gonna give you a heads up, from jail? And so they talked about that again. They talked about that. She also told him that he needed to go see his brother and apologize. He said that he'd think about it, which led him to go see Tony, and he got a different perspective from Tony. And Tony was like, look, you got your left brain and your right brain. Your left brain, gives you a perspective when you're not angry. He said something about, your left brain gives you a perspective when you're angry. Your right brain gives you a perspective when you are angry. It's up to you who you're going to listen to. And I thought that was some very solid advice. And he was like, but whatever you decide, you got to live with the consequences of it. And, I got your back. We locked in for life, whatever you decide. I said, come on, Tony. I like Tony. I really do. I like him. That episode, let's see what else happened. He got back home. Zach and Fatima talked. Oh, he did go see Jeremiah. Oh my God, and that was a tear jerker. Oh my gosh, y'all, I cried like a freaking baby. Okay, I cried. Okay, I mean cried. Okay, so he went to go see his brother. He was like, look, I'm not gonna do nothing to you, bro. And he was like, man, you can't touch Fatima, man. He was like, man, I'm sorry, man. And so he was like, look, he was like, I'm sorry. They both apologized to each other. And Jeremiah said that he wanted to get off the stuff. And Zach was like, how is this time different? He said, man, mama dead. Man, when he said that, I was like, no. Y'all, I cried. I mean, I'm talking ugly cried, okay? I cried like I was there at Gladys' funeral, okay? I was like, oh my God, y'all don't do this to me, man. Don't do this. And then when they hugged, I said, oh no, now come on, bro, come on. I was like, man, y'all can't do this to me now. Don't do this. Let's see what else. He got back home and him and Fatima talked, and they talked about him helping Jeremiah get into a facility. They talked about relationship stuff. And I love that he did not let Fatima make it either. She was telling him some things about him, and he told her some things about her. I said, yeah, that's right, Zach, get her too. Because it's so easy. One thing that I will say about that I've noticed a pattern with Zach is it always be so, and I think I've said this across both shows, and I'm just going to cross both shows really quickly when it comes to sisters and when it comes to Zatima. It is always so easy to point the finger at Zach because Zach has always been the easier red flag. You know what I'm saying? And it's always just been so easy to point the finger at him. That way, everybody else don't have to do no inner work. No, everybody, no, no, nah. We all got stuff we got to work on. And he let her know, okay, thank you. We done talked about me. We done talked about stuff I got to work on. Let's talk about you. You got some insecurities too. You got this you got to work on. You've gotten better at this, but you got this, you have this that you have to work on too. And I love that because that's what should happen in relationships. It shouldn't always be you. It should be a healthy balance. So I love that. Now, now it's goofy and it's funny, of course, with Zach trying to play Zack Attack and stuff with her. But I think it's okay that if she says no, give her a break. Her giving him some here boy dang stuff. Dude, give it a rest. But anyway. Let's see. I'm trying to think if I'm missing anything. That's really all I wanted to talk about from that episode. They went to that cricket funeral. They went to that cricket funeral home. They gave a check. That scene was funny because again, it gave vibes of when we first fell in love with them. And when they own, they are on. And it is so good to see. Angela asked about the FBI guy, Malachi. And the only thing I want to say about that is this is the one thing that I agreed with Angela on when Fatima was like, look, I didn't get a chance to ask because it was some drama that happened. Angela's like, okay, but is he gonna help? Oh my God. Look, it may have sounded insensitive, but I'm not gonna lie. I kind of understood Angela because I kind of understood Angela because, friend, you told me that this guy was gonna help. You told me that the dinner was about him helping. You didn't tell me that this dude was your ex. You didn't tell me that Leslie and this dude was married and that dude was your ex and this girl was you and her was best friends. You didn't tell me that. That ain't my business. But you told me that dinner was for you to ask him. You told me that was your homeboy. You didn't tell me that was your ex. So I don't need to know that T. I need to know if he gonna get me off of TripleX.com. That's what I need to know. So is he gonna help? So I felt Angela. I felt her. I felt her there. Okay. So yeah, I felt her there. Now what I do want to say about Malachi is probably, and I was talking to my homegirls about this. Shout out to Court, shout out to Giovanna, and shout out to KD. I love y'all, my girls. He is probably the worst subtle villain in the Zatima series because and he gives Aaron vibes. And the reason being is because you can tell that he judges Zach. You can tell that he judges Zach, but he is worse. Way worse than Zach. He way worse than Zach. He just quiet with his, right? And the thing is, he got on that phone with Fatima and he was like, I just want to tell you how sorry I am. And I just want to tell you how sorry I am and stuff. And I'm going to do this for your friend, but I need to see it. I need to see her apartment. I need to see how they did it. And I want you there. Why do I have to be there? Why does Fatima have to be there? And then you can tell, I don't want to say he has a hold on Fatima, but you can tell that he's manipulative in the fact that he worded things that he knew that Fatima was going to come because he asked her to. And she said it. I'm coming because he asked me to. And even Angela was like, friend, I don't know now. And so, yeah. Not to mention, so episode 18 ends with him basically at the house with her. He was like, I just want to apologize and stuff. I love you. I've always loved you. And see, look, he takes his shirt off, whole tattoo of Fatima's face on his chest. So here's why he's worse. He's married to Leslie, 20 years in, right? Of course, Leslie is spazzing. She gotta look at Fatima's face every time he take off her shirt. Not to mention, Leslie said when we first got in the house, he walking around looking at your pictures. He walking around looking at everything. He made me get this wig like yours. He made me do this like yours. And he made me do this. And That's why he picked me up and put me on this counter and wanted to make out and stuff and wanted to get something started because he walked. I wholeheartedly believe that he walked around in Fatima's house, saw all those pictures of Fatima and stuff, got turned on, and thinking about Fatima, but Fatima's not there, but his wife is. So he's been for 20 years he can't have Fatima, but he can try to make his wife be Fatima. Y'all see what I'm y'all see what I'm saying? Literally a great he's literally trying to make his wife a great value version of Fatima. And because his wife feels bad, literally emotional manipulation, and because Leslie feels bad that she messed over her friend, she's going along with it. Now, is she crazy for doing it? Absolutely. But he's also crazy for asking her to do it. So they both crazy. I am very curious to see where this storyline is going, not only for the rest of season 3, but looks like they're going to be in season 4 too. So we shall see. We shall see. But I wanted to make sure that I get caught up, and I missed y'all. But I love y'all in real life, and I am very curious to see what is going to happen. Also, I think this is now. I also want to say this. Fatima, I'm talking about. Fatima also should have called Zach and told when Zach called her and told her that he was going to put 5 racks on Jeremiah's rehab. That is when she should have said, hey, "Oh yeah, babe, while we're on the phone, Malacora called me and told me that he is going to work on the case for Angela. And he asked me to come over so that he could be there with her, so that he could apologize to me. I'm going over. Do you mind? Matter of fact, can you meet me there or something?" Because I want to say this. Fatima also gets herself into trouble too, feeling like I can handle all of this by myself. I don't have to tell Zach everything, or Zach don't have to know everything, or whatever it is that she feels like. Because she has this whole "don't lie to me and don't cheat on me" rule when it comes to Zach. But she also omits things. And she don't tell the truth either, which is unfair. It's unfair. And if we go back to the Ian situation, this is exactly what happened. She didn't tell Zach that she was meeting Ian for coffee. And his homeboy caught them. Now, the coffee thing was innocent. But the point is, she didn't have the decency to tell Zach that she was meeting him for coffee. Now, and she was like, "Well, I was going to tell him." But the fact is, she didn't tell him. His homeboy caught it. It looked like that he was cheating. I mean, it looked like she was cheating. Now, I hate to go scripture here, but the Bible said, "Don't let your word be evil. Don't let your good be evil spoken of." And I was even reading. I was literally just reading in Proverbs last night when I was doing my Bible study, and it was actually talking about your character and integrity and stuff. And I'm not saying that I ain't by no means am I saying Fatima don't have good character. And I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is you don't want to put yourself in a situation where it looks bad. And as we can see, and as we can tell, folks be following these two people. Of all the people in Atlanta, Georgia, everybody want to follow Zach and Fatima around. So she needs to have she should have had it's too late now, but she should have had a conversation with Zach and told Zach that she was going to Angela's house and Malakusha was going to be there. Because now this fool done open up his chest and it's a whole Sharpie marker of her face on his chest. Now, how you gonna explain that to your future husband, ma'am? Because it's probably somebody in Angela's window video recording. Leslie is probably up under Angela's cabinet with a camcorder and gonna go tell Zach. I bet you that's what's gonna happen. But anyway, I love y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you are new here, please subscribe, like, send your friends here. I love y'all so much. Have a good night.